Hi, I'm Nana, a Brazilian who is traveling in China and is studying Mandarin at Omeida Academy. Today, I'm going to share some tips about applying for a Chinese visa, plus a bonus about arriving in China. But before we start, a disclaimer. The information we are about to share is based on my own experiences, stories I've heard from other foreigners, and Omeida School insights. Our intention is only to help clarify doubts many people have asked us, and it's not in any way official nor applicable to everyone. Number 1. Eligibility. First of all, check the official website for online visa application and the Chinese Consular Services website. The current links are available in the video's description. There, you can find updated information regarding visa types, costs, required documents, and embassies you can apply from. I was lucky to have one in my city, but I've heard of people who even had to cross borders to a neighboring country to be able to apply. It's really important to get the latest information because these things can suddenly change. Each country has their own rules, but China has been opening up for foreigners in 2024. Now, citizens from many countries have the benefit of staying for 2 weeks without a visa, while for other countries, people can get up to 10 years multi-entry tourist visa, like Brazil. So check the information about your country so you know what visas are available and can decide what best matches your purpose. Number 2. Tourist and student visas. Those are the most common visas and the ones we have experience with, so we stick to what we know. L category is the one for tourism. X1 and X2 are the ones for people who come to China to study. Broadly speaking, for a tourist visa, you need to have a trip plan. For a student visa, you need to have an admission letter from a Chinese education center. Regardless of the category, there are other important details to consider when applying. Entries. How many times you can go to China. A visa can be single, double, or multi-entry. A single-entry visa means that after you get to China, your visa is no longer valid once you leave the country. You can only enter once. With a double entry, you can enter twice. And a multi-entry visa allows you to get in and out of China as many times as you want, as long as you respect the other rules. Enter before. The latest date you can enter China. For example, my 10-year tourist visa allows me to keep coming here until March 2034. Duration of each stay. The longest you can stay in China each time you come. When I came in as a student, I asked for an X2 visa that allowed me to stay up to 180 days, according to my study plans. For tourism, the time allowed is usually 30, 60, or 90 days per visit. Since you're coming to China, why not learn the language and immerse yourself in local culture? Even for just a week. Our viewers have a special discount to sign up for classes at our school. Hurry up and check the promo code in the description. If you find this content useful and want to encourage us to continue, like this video and subscribe to the Omeida Academy channel. Number 3. The application process. The process may vary depending on the embassy. Some might need you to schedule a date, others you can just show up. In general, you fill up an online application form, choose a service, express will be faster but more expensive, and go to the embassy for biometric collection, picture and fingerprints, turning documents, a quick interview, and payment. As to how far in advance you should apply for the visa, it depends on the embassy. Omeida School recommended me to apply 2 to 3 months in advance, which worked just right in Brazil. When I applied via visa office in Hong Kong, there was no need to reschedule, and I filled the application form just a week before going to the interview. Regardless of where you apply, they usually require a recently taken passport-size picture, a copy of your passport, and the printed visa form. Besides, taking your passport with you. Also, check in advance which means of payment they accept there. Some places only accept cash. For a tourist visa, they usually require printed proof of your travel plans. Things like accommodation, reservations, train and plane tickets. The more the merrier, I mean it. For a student visa, you need a letter from the school you will attend. Omeida staff was really helpful during this whole process. They answered all my questions, sent me all the documents, and supported me through the whole process. Not sure if you need to take something or not? When in doubt, print it and take it with you. The last thing you want is to have to rush around the neighborhood looking for a place to print or make copies. Now, about the interview. It's not guaranteed they will speak your native language. I've heard stories about embassies in which the employees only spoke Mandarin or English, so make sure to have a translated app on you, just in case. Once I turned in the documents, be it travel plans or admission letter, they didn't ask me that many things. Really, everything they needed to know was already there. No questions about job, occupation, or money situation, like some other visas interview asked. I can't guarantee they won't ask you, but that was my experience. If you are missing a document, they might reschedule you, so you can take whatever you need on another date. After the interview, they will tell you right away if you were approved, which visa you got, and when your visa is ready, so you can get your passport back. Number 4. Visa Application Centers. If you are already traveling or your country doesn't have an embassy, you can also apply for the visa at a Chinese visa application center. They are available in many places like Australia, Hong Kong, and Vietnam, with detailed information about the process on their website. The visa offices are as reliable as the embassies. I paid for express service and my visa was ready in 1 day. Regular service takes up to 5 working days. It's still pretty fast. Bonus: arrival in China. So you got the visa, now you can come to China. As you land, you have to fill up an arrival card that is given to you by the flight attendants during your flight. You can also get one at the airport. It asks basic things like your name, ID, and the address you're staying at. Now, you can wait in line for the immigration, where they usually check your documents, get your picture and fingerprints, and may ask you some questions. There has been no consistency in the questions I was asked in the 3 times I entered China. One time, the officer asked me if I was traveling alone and for how long, and the other 2 times, they didn't ask me anything. Keep in mind that if you don't have a working eSIM, Chinese SIM card, or international data plan, you might encounter some problems connecting to free airport Wi-Fi. In some cases, access to the Wi-Fi requires a text message verification, which can be tricky without a local or active number. These are the things about visas I wish I knew before planning my trip to China. They would have saved me a lot of stress. How is your experience with Chinese visas? Share it with us and you might be able to help someone else. Be sure to check our playlist of tips for people coming to China. Like many foreigners, I wasn't sure what to expect when I planned to come to China. That is why it's useful to be part of a community when you come here, and also why I chose to study at Omeida Academy. Omeida also offers high-quality, tailored Chinese language courses for all levels in one of China's most beautiful sceneries. They have small-size classes, flexible hours, and you can volunteer for discounts. Do you want 200 yuan off to come to study with us? Hurry up and check the promo code in the description. What else would you like to know before going to China? Tell us, and we will do our best to help. 再见!